Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a hip opener yoga flow today. Happy to have you here. And like I always say in all my videos, if you've had any health issues, recent surgeries, health changes, please just be sure you've checked with your doctor before participating in any of my videos. We're going to start today by standing on our mats. We're going to raise our arms up and bring our hands to prayer position. Going to bend slightly to the back like a sun salutation. And we're just going to stay here for just a second. And just take some deep breaths. And just in and out. Just taking this few minutes to do this for ourselves today. And then we'll bring our arms back down. And then we'll do that again. Just one more time. Just in and out. Deep breaths. Very good. And we'll come back down. You can widen your stance. We're going to start just with some head rolls just to work out any kinks in our neck. So to the right, we'll look to the right. Then we'll look to the left. Come back to neutral. Look up. Look down. Come back to neutral. Right. Left. Back to neutral. Up. And then down. Very good. We'll raise our arms up in the air. Widen your stance just a little bit more if you need to for balance. Going to keep our left hand in the air, and we're going to take our right hand and we're going to slide it down to our foot. If you're able to touch your foot, your calf, your thigh, wherever you are in your flexibility, just go with that. Then we're going to turn, and we're going to go into a low lunge. I'm not exactly certain the name of this pose. I call it a low biker's lunge. You can go as far as you're able. You can raise up if you can, and then come back down. If you need a block to hold on to, you can certainly do that, just to give you some added support. Come back up to standing. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to keep our our right hand in the air, and we're going to take our left hand down to our foot. Just try to open through the chest. Take some deep breaths. In and out. Very good. And we're going to turn and do that low lunge on this side. And again, go down as far as you're able. If you're only able to go this far, that's completely fine. Just work with where you are. Over time, your flexibility will increase. And then come back up. Then come back to the middle. And just for a second, let's just ragdoll it. Just hold on to your elbows. Keep your head down. You can shake your head a little bit, work out any kinks that might still be there in your neck. And then come back up. Clasp your hands behind your back. I'll show you. Clasp your hands behind your back like that if you're able to. And then I want you to hinge at the hips and go forward. And if you are able, you can bring your hands over your head. But only as far as you're able to do that. And we can do that one more time. I think that's a really great stretch for the shoulders and the back. I really like that one. Okay, now we're going to go down to our mat. And we're going to quickly go into a child's pose. So child's pose, so bring your toes together and fall back. Well, not fall back, but go back and keep your hands out in front of you and rest your forehead to the mat. Just stay here for a minute. Take some deep breaths. It's hot here. Normally I try to do these in the morning, But I've had some technical difficulties, so I had to do it in the afternoon, and it's pretty warm here. I'm in Virginia. I'm not sure where y'all are, but it's pretty warm here today. Okay. Then we'll come back up. Then we're going to go into a frog pose. So a frog pose is similar to a child's pose, but we're going to widen our hips. If you can get your big toes together, similar to the child's pose, that's great. And then just come back onto back like that. You can sit here in this if this is comfortable for you. If you need a block or something to hold on to for stability, that is perfectly fine. You can use a blanket if you don't have a block. You can also lean forward if you want, and you can even pillow your hands together and rest your forehead on your hands and just feel this stretch in the inner thighs. This is a really, really great stretch for the inner thighs and really a great stretch for hip flexibility. I like this one too. You'll hear me say that a lot, that I really like that stretch, or this stretch, but I do. I'm always going to show you the ones that I'm the biggest fan of. Right, then we'll come back up, come back on our knees, and we're going to come back up into a downward dog just for a minute. So come into your downward dog, just pedal this out. And then we're going to bend our left foot, our left knee in front of us and keep our right leg behind us. And this is the pigeon pose, which is also a great stretch for the hips. Now, if this is enough for you, you can stay right here in this pose and just stay exactly where you are. If you can't get completely into this pose, just do what you can. You can lay or come forward and rest your head down if you're able to, just for a minute. We carry a lot of tension in our hips and our shoulders. So any of these stretches that helps relieve tension in those areas, those are really good. All right, let's come back up carefully. Come back up into your downward dog just for a minute. And then just pedal this out. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Let's bring your right leg, bend in front of you, left leg behind you. And again, you can stay right here. Need a block or a pillow to help with stability or balance, that's perfectly fine. And then you can fold down over if that feels good. And just take a few breaths here. Very good. Then we'll come back out of that and we can take a quick child's pose just to kind of rest and counteract those movements just for a minute. Very good. Now I want you to come up and come to the front of your mat, but stay on your knees. Keep your left knee bent and let's straighten out your right leg. Now, you can again use a block or a pillow for this movement if that's easier for you, if you're having trouble getting down to the ground or you feel like your balance is not quite there yet, that's fine. And then just rock back, just gently in this pose. Don't overstretch. Just very gently rock back on this pose. And you can feel the stretch in the inner thigh here. And just one more time. Very good. And then we're going to switch sides. So same thing. You might find that you're a little bit tighter on one side versus the other, and that's perfectly normal. Like I said, we're not completely symmetrical as humans. This is a good stretch for the pelvic floor also. A tight pelvic floor can, cause us to have some urinary issues and things of that nature. So we need to be sure we're taking care of our pelvic floor too. All right, come back to that. Very good. Now we're going to sit on our mat just for a minute. Bend your left leg, keep that bent in towards you, and your right leg is out. And then you can lean forward and fold down over top of your right leg and go as far as you can. Thigh, knee, calf, wherever you are. When I first started doing this about a year and a half ago, I couldn't touch my toes. And whenever I can do something new, I'm always so excited. And I feel such a great accomplishment that I'm able to do something that I once was not able to do. Let's flip to the other side. And that's one of the things that I want to bring to you, and fold forward, in my yoga, is that, this is yoga practice, not yoga perfection. So we all are where we are in our life, in our flexibility, in our balance, in our movement. And there's never any shame in that. You're here, you're doing this, and that in itself is the biggest accomplishment of it all. You're here doing it. And that's the biggest accomplishment of it all. Okay. And we'll come into a butterfly pose just really quick, just to stretch out the inner thighs just a little bit more. You can lean forward if that feels good. If you feel like you're too tight here and your legs are kind of up like this, you can use pillows or blocks, to help stabilize that if that's uncomfortable. Very good. Now let's come onto our back just for a second, and we're going to go into a happy baby. So a happy baby, ideally a happy baby, you bring both of your feet into the air and you hold onto the bottoms of your feet. Now, if that's too much for you, you can do one leg at a time. If that feels better. You also can kind of play around with it a little bit. You can kind of bring your legs in and out. You can rock side to side if that feels good. Just whatever works for you. Very good. Now bring that down. Keep your knees bent and your feet flat on your mat. And then we're just going to do a quick spinal twist. So we're going to bring our knees to the right. See how far you can get them. Your hands can just be rested on your belly or on the floor, wherever's comfortable for you. And if you feel like this is too much strain on your lower back, you can shift your hips over and come down that way if that feels a little bit better. You never want to have any unnecessary back strain because we want to always take care of our back, our knees, everything. We don't want any injuries and anything. Okay, then come back up, back to neutral, and then we'll do that on the left side. And just for a second longer, we'll hold that. Very good. Now we're going to come back up and we're going to come into a Shavasana. Or corpse pose, whichever name you prefer. So we're just going to lay flat on the mat. You can have your palms facing up. You can have your palms on your belly, on your chest, wherever's comfortable for you. Shavasana pose, you can stay in this pose as long as you need to, as long as it feels comfortable for you. Let's take some deep breaths. Just thank yourself for showing up today and doing this. I thank you for showing up and doing this with me. I hope to be able to bring you more videos that you find beneficial in the future. And please let me know if there's anything that you would like for me to do. You can reach out to me here on YouTube, or you can reach out to me on my Instagram. whichever is easiest. Now you can stay in that position if that's feeling good and you don't want to sit up yet, but I'm going to sit up. And then I'm just going to bring my hands to heart center and I'm just going to thank you again for joining me. And I hope to see you in the next one. Namaste.